Okay, right behind me, I used to have a bunch of mismatched shelves. They weren't very efficient, so now I'm going to be building some wood shelves that are going to be easy, super strong, and cheap. So the first thing to do when you're building these shelves is to cut your 2x4s to length. Typically I use an 8-foot board because then you don't have to cut it at all. In this case I made it about 7 feet long, so I had a little bit of space left over in the corner of my garage to store my shovels and other things. But you can cut it to whatever length it is most convenient to you. I'm attaching it with 2 screws per stud that it spans, usually using a 3-inch screw. I'd really appreciate it if you haven't already to like and subscribe. I'm going to be making lots of videos upgrading my garage and doing DIY projects in our house to fix it, and hopefully you could learn things along the way. My shelf is using 3 shelves. Typically I like to use the floor as the 4th shelf. If you're worried about water or other things coming in there, you could get things off the ground or build a shelf down there. For me, I like to save the extra material, and I put the heavy things down there so I don't have to lift them up on the higher shelf. Alright, now you have to have the obligatory pocket hole drilling montage in the build video. If you don't have a pocket hole, you can make pocket holes on your own. On the first cabinet I made, I figured out that if you drill down a little bit first, you could then put it at an angle and create your own pocket hole. You can see that quickly. I created a little pocket hole that would help guide the screw into the board better than maybe just trying to drill a screw sideways in through there. Anyway, here we go. So this next step is taking all the 2x4s that are going to be mounted perpendicular to the wall as part of the shelf frame, and we're putting 2 pocket holes in each end of the board. This Craig jig is really a time saver, as you can see, and I love the vacuum attachment that helps keep everything clean. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to check it out. Alrighty, so here's my tip for building shelves. Don't waste your money on extra wood. A lot of times you watch YouTube videos and people will put these short parts of the frame and they'll put like 4 of them across an 8-foot board. So unless you're putting like 500-600 pounds on your shelf, there's no reason to waste your money on having tons of supports. That's my quick tip for you to save money on wood and to make it easier and quicker to build your shelves. So now I have all the short braces for my shelves cut, and I have the pocket holes drilled, and this is where assembling the shelf is super quick. We already have these 2x4s mounted on the wall at the heights we want the shelves on. Now we just have to attach these short braces to that, and then the front 2x4 to those. So it's that's 4 times 4, that's 16 screws you got to put on. And you have the basic framing for the shelf. You put up the front support legs and throw on the plywood tops. So just to build the frame, let's see how long it takes. I'm guessing it takes about 20 minutes, depending on interruptions. Here at my house right now it's 5:35. Let's see how long it takes me to put all 16 of these screws in and get these shelves hung up and ready to go. Alrighty, I did my math wrong. I gotta edit it. There is 3 shelves on mine because I'm gonna use the floor as the bottom shelf, and that way I could slide heavy things in and out of there. And so I have 3 shelves with 2 braces. That's 6 of these with 4 screws each. It's 24 screws, not 16. Just so you guys know, I do know math. It's just not on the spot. I can't keep my numbers straight. Okay, so now the next step is taking those 6 boards that we've drilled the pocket holes in and attaching them to the 2x4s that are mounted to the wall. As you saw, that I pre-installed the pocket hole screws into each one of the pocket holes, so they are all ready to go as we attach them. You'll see here that I'm tightening them all in a little bit so they don't fall out as we're moving around,
but this really helps the assembly go quicker if you have all your screws partially started and ready to go. One thing with pocket holes, you'll notice that sometimes you have to get them nice and tight for them to be strong and supportive, so make sure you crank them down until the board is nice and strong.
How long did I say? It's been 20 minutes. I got all the short braces up. I got the first brace up and the first leg up. I had a few issues with the bottom wall board not being mounted all the way because it was previously installed by someone else. And then I realized I didn't cut my other 7-foot leg. We gotta cut one more 7-foot board to get that support on this side. And then I got 8 more screws. Let's see if I can get it done.
Okay, the next step is attaching the second vertical support or leg, whatever you feel like calling it. I like to attach this after I built the frame. This way I could level it as you see me doing here. Some people like to attach the front of the frame supports in the first step so they have a whole front shelf assembly. My garage floor is sloped, and so I like to do it as a separate step to ensure that each shelf is level and my stuff isn't going to roll off of it.
So in the video you're going to see me miraculously jump from working on this corner to being done. When I told you last time that I ended at 6:15, which means it was only 40 minutes, a little longer than I guessed, because I had a couple issues of driver braking under the impact gun, a couple twisted and warped boards that I had to work in there, and all that happened, added some time to it, but in all reality those project snafus happen all the time, every time I tell my wife.
Oh man, that guy's rambling on. Let's get back to building something. So here I'm using the Craig Jig circular saw guide to cut down some plywood. I like to use plywood that's about a 1/2 inch thick, whatever they have cheap at the Lowe's or Home Depot, and it's easy to cut consistent widths for things like shelves. So now I have my plywood put on top of those frames that we previously built, and I like attaching it with screws about every 2 feet. Get it nice and strong and ready to hold stuff. Alrighty guys, so now you see that we have 7-foot tall shelves by about 6.5 feet wide. It didn't take a whole lot of work. You can store a lot more stuff in here. Hey, as a new YouTuber, I just wanted to say thanks for all you guys watching. I really appreciate all the likes and subscriptions and all the support I'm getting. If you like this video, please check out my other garage videos. I'm doing a budget makeover, and you can check out that playlist here, as well as other cool home DIY projects I've been working on. Thanks again.